Okay, welcome, fight fans, to this special interview in which I'll be looking at this Saturday's Gecko's Combat Series in Dubai, in which Alan Grace is fighting Maxi James for the WBF Intercontinental Middleweight Championship on top of the bill. And joining me is Alan Grace. Thanks for coming on, Alan.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
No, I appreciate that. I was going to say, to viewers at home, could you tell us a bit more about this event itself, Alan, please?
Yeah, so it's my original coaching team. They're called Fight Gecko. They're promoting this event. It's their first promotion they've ever done. There's a lot of different types of people on the undercard. It's a mixture. So there's a few professional fights. There's also some amateur fights as well to kick the night off. And I think those amateur fights are like entrepreneurs that are sort of wanting to dip their toe into the boxing world. Um, there's some really well followed fighters fighting professionally as well, like a couple of guys that have been on Misfits. But ultimately, I'm just focused on my title fight at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the main thing for you, Alan. Then you just concentrate on your fight as well. Tell people about a bit about yourself, Alan, as well. What
Okay.
they need to know about you.
Well, I'm currently 3-0 with 3 knockouts. I was very late starting in boxing. Started at 33. Now I'm 34. And because of that, I'm kind of jumping up several classes. And I'm not going through the stages as I should. I've sort of fought 3 journeymen. That is normal at the start of a pro career. And then instead of going to the next stage, I'm missing out several stages. And I'm fighting a 16-0 undefeated Argentinian for the Intercontinental title. So
sure, you're kind of fast
yeah,
tracking your career, then, are you? Is that the plan? Fast track?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I wanted to test myself, and I feel like I was a few levels above the guys that fought in the first couple of fights. I'm a bit older, so I don't have as much time on my side as other people might have had.
Yeah.
People that have been boxing all their life. But yeah, I'm in Dubai at the moment, where I'm currently finishing the camp. And when I'm not boxing, I work on my foundation, which is like a charity where we help underprivileged people all over the world. We've done things like building houses in Mexico and Indonesia. We've built schools. We
Awesome.
feed the workers here in Dubai as well.
Awesome. There's a great charity behind you as well. With regards to this actual card, it's available to watch on mstream.com. How do you think
Yeah.
how important streaming has come to boxing events nowadays?
Very important, I think. Yeah, this one's on emdstream.com.
Hmm.
And I think that the COVID probably enhanced all that stuff because
Yeah,
people couldn't
definitely.
come and watch the events. So it was the only way to watch it. And of course, when you're fighting in different places, a lot of my people that will want to watch me at the moment are in the UK. Hopefully that's global soon. And those people might not be able to come out to Dubai. And so the way for them to be able to watch it is on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. And your ring nickname, the Family Man, how did that come around, that nickname?
So my nickname for the ring is El Telelo, which is like a Spanish slang word for family man, and that comes because of my like Mexican style, the South American come forward, throwing a lot of punches,
Hmm.
probably taking a few too many as well. You might,
Already,
you
yeah.
might,
Hmm.
yeah, you might be able to see some of the sparring bruises. They're fading at the moment. Um, but yeah, and I think that family is the most important thing. And
Absolutely.
I like to promote that.
Sure, absolutely. I was going to say, with regards to you mentioned obviously 3 fights, 3 KOs so far from you, full fight, and this one's scheduled for 8 rounder. So not been 8 rounds before. What's the training
Yeah.
been like?
Well, it get to be honest, each camp gets tougher with every fight.
Mm,
Each one's tougher than the last one. So and without sugarcoating it, when you have a style like mine, it comes with a lot of punishment to the head. And so you end up with a lot of side effects from that and headaches and things. And so yeah, I think it is tough. It's probably the toughest sport in the world, to be honest. So yeah, but we do it for entertainment so that everybody
Yeah.
has a good time.
And the good training camp going into this fight?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's actually been the best one yet in terms of diet
Mhm.
because I find the diet inside very difficult. But this is the first camp where I've had a proper nutritionist. I was recommended to someone by Dave Caldwell, and
Okay.
yeah, he's been great. In fact, just before we started recording, I was finishing my lunch, and I feel like I can actually eat proper food.
Mm.
Yeah, it's funny story actually. Dave, when I first met Dave Caldwell, I was eating literally a plate of celery sticks, and he
And did
said,
he
"What the
say
fuck are you
why you
doing?"
eat celery sticks?
He,
That'd be my
he-
question. Would be straight away.
he said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "I'm starving, but I can't have any calories." And he said, "Mate, you gotta sort this shit out."
Hmm.
And so yeah, he put me on to a nutritionist called Lee, and he just basically now tells me exactly what to eat, when to eat, and so yeah, it is a bit easier now. I've got a proper nutritionist on board. But
Hmm.
the rest of the camp's been fine. You know, lots of heavy sparring. Obviously, doing it at a minimum of 8 rounds because that's how long the fight is.
Yeah.
My sparring partners are trying their best to emulate this Argentinian southpaw.
Yeah, Max's style. I was going to say to you, you may have answered this question for me already. What part of training that you don't really like? Is it the nutrition side of things, the eating side of things? Is that the hardest part? Would you say?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of hard parts, obviously, to camp, but I
Hmm.
think, like most boxers, when it comes to the actual fighting, the sparring, you enjoy that bit.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, the dieting is still even though it's a lot easier now, it's still probably the worst bit because you have to you can't eat whenever you want, you can't eat whatever you want. You have to be very strict with it.
Yeah.
And because it's something that I've not done, I didn't do for the first 33 years of my life. I just basically ate whatever I wanted.
It's a
And that made
discipline, isn't it? Really, yeah. It's getting into that
yeah.
routine, the discipline of it. So, yeah, I can imagine it be tough going. Talking about Maxi James, you mentioned on him, 16 fights, 13 KOs. He's an Argentinian southpaw. My
Mhm.
first question to you, Alan: are you crazy? It's never easy fighting southpaw. So, start. What kind of fight are you expecting?
You're not the first person to say that.
Really?
What are
There
you
you go.
doing, you madman? Um, yeah, like I say, times I don't have time on my side, so I have to jump
Hmm.
up and challenge myself. Yeah, he's my style lends itself to lots of KOs, and so does his. He's got the South American style as well,
Hmm.
but he's a southpaw. He's a lot slicker than I am, if I'm honest. His footwork looks better. So yeah, but I guess the advantage is this will be my fourth fight, and he's already going to be my third southpaw that I fought. So I'm used to it.
So you're used to it, yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, my head coach Montana Rompler, he is a former Olympian, also a southpaw. So, but yeah, listen, it's going to be very challenging. I understand that I'm a massive underdog. I get that,
Hmm.
but I think that it's going to whatever happens is going to be fireworks, and it's going to be a really good one
Good
to
fight.
watch.
Yeah, my understanding from Box Rec, Maxi's been fighting since he's 15 years old. I understand. So he's got a lot of experience on you. Is that a worry at all? Do you think? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's not a worry, but it's this guy. He was the WBC champ at the weight below, and so yeah, he's been doing it a long time.
Mhm.
About 20 years now. We're about the same age, but I'm a year into my career. He's 20 years into his. So
So
yeah,
would you say
it is a
obviously
big
you're a
call
bit
from top.
fresher than him?
Yeah, I mean that's one way of looking at it. Is you could say that I'm a bit fresher, but listen, it was because I'm taking on someone so difficult. That's why it's ended up now being for the Intercontinental title. So
Yeah,
no reward without the risk.
risky. Yeah, exactly. This may be a silly question, but is Maxi obviously your toughest fight to date?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Like the only reason they've sanctioned this for the Intercontinental title is because they think he's going to win, and when he does, he's then going to get a shot at the world title. So obviously the odds are in his favor, but we've got a game
Mhm.
plan. Nobody's unbeatable, myself included, and Maxi's included in that as well. So we've got a game plan. I'm going to try my best to implement it, but obviously easier said than done.
Sure. Sure. That's totally understandable. What was it like fighting in Dubai, Alan, for you?
It's fun, you know. It's a good atmosphere. The Agenda Arena, which is where this fight is,
Hmm.
it's hosted all the best combat events that happen in Dubai. So it's ended up becoming like a really good home for boxing shows. So I actually feel very lucky to be headlining at such a prestigious arena. And of course, when my fans come, tend to be from the Western culture anyway, so they're a bit
Yeah.
more raucous. The UK crowd, they get pumping. I have been to some shows in the Middle East where it's a bit quiet, you know, it's a bit
Yeah.
flatter because
Yeah.
of the cultural differences. But yeah, my shows
Well,
always seem to be to have a really good atmosphere. So
sure.
I'm
No,
lucky.
that's great to hear because obviously some shows have their criticism, Riyadh season on atmosphere, but it looks like you're going to bring a good fan base, hopefully, along to cheer you on. With
Yeah.
just a bit about yourself, Alan, what actually got you? I know you said you come late into boxing, but what actually got you into boxing in the first place?
I mean, I've always loved it, you know, as a fan.
Yeah,
I was like a bit nerdy with it, like watching the interviews, keeping up with all the UK promoters, watching all the shows,
same here.
even like US, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, US shows, Australia, and obviously the UK. So yeah, it's just been always been a passion. And then I had it in the back of my head that I could do it potentially, and I thought, you know, it may well be a delusion, and there's only one way to find out. So I decided one day just to focus on it for a few months, get myself in shape, and try and do a pro fight. Um, and then kind of fell in love with it a little bit, and it all started from there.
It sparked that love for boxing for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. With regards to yourself, do you have any like pre-fight rituals or good luck sort of things you go through?
Um, I always have like a banana and then like dip it in honey. I don't
What's
know if
this?
that's like
Half an hour before, an hour before, or
probably more like half an hour before. Yeah,
okay.
not long before at all. You know, because the
Hmm.
honey doesn't take long to give you the
Yeah,
energy. So it's now become like a good luck thing as well, rather than just doing
good.
it for the energy. Um, and so far I've always had the same walkout song.
Hmm.
Um,
So you keep
I'll probably
everything
keep
consistent, do
I'll
you
probably
then?
keep that. Yeah, and then when I'm in the ring, um, you go through the motions. You've both been introduced again, and the referee's telling you the instructions, but I'm not listening to any of that. I'm in my head. I'm just
Mm.
going over and over the first thing I'm going to do in the fight, like the first whatever the first move is going to be that I'm going to do, and where I'm going to put my feet and things like that. And the reason I do that is because it gives me something to focus on, and then once I've done that, whether it works or not in the fight, then
Yeah,
I'm settled into it. Once you're in the fight, punches are thrown, and you're settled into it. Everything then flows naturally after that.
yeah, absolutely. That. With regards to yourself as well, have you got any sort of current favorite fighters, or it can be current or past favorite fighters?
Current favorite fighter probably Artur Beterbiev. I know he lost recently to Bivol in the
Great
rematch,
fight
but
again, though.
again,
Mhm.
yeah, it was a great fight, and I love the entertainment side of it. Listen, I love the purist boxing side as well, and Mayweather and all that stuff. I appreciate it, but for me, I would prefer to watch the action, and I think Beterbiev's fights are just incredible to watch. There was one he had with Callum Johnson, so that
Oh,
three or
yeah,
four rounds it
yeah,
lasted, brilliant. The yard fight was good as well, and when you've got someone like that hits so hard and just doesn't stop coming, it brings the best out in their opponents. Like Anthony Yard's best performance was probably
oh,
the
no
loss to
doubt. Yeah,
Beterbiev.
that fight, he
Um,
done much better than I expected to be honest with you. So,
me too,
mhm,
me too. And then, yeah, I think uh, creating things like that create nights that people won't forget, and that's what I want to do as
mhm,
well in my career. And then in terms of past fighters, my favorite is probably Edwin Valero. I know it's a
mhm.
bit like what happened at the end is not great, but in terms of his actual
What he
boxing
done in
career,
the yeah, yeah.
Valero was incredible to watch.
Absolutely. With regards to yourself, you mentioned fighters. What's the best fight you've actually been to and seen live then?
Uh, in person, you
In
mean?
person? Yeah.
Yeah, I went to AJ versus White.
Oh, nice.
Um, and White. I mean, first of all, the card was incredible.
That's the O2
Who
one,
he
yeah?
Yeah, it was at the O2, which is probably my favorite place.
Yeah.
Like I've been to like Fury White and stuff like that at Wembley. For me, I prefer the O2. It's like everyone's on top of each other. The
Yeah.
atmosphere is way better, in my opinion.
I was there for that
Um,
fight as well, funny enough, Alan.
there you go. There you go.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and then if you look at the undercard, I was very lucky, so I didn't know at the time how lucky I was, but it was Chisora, Malinaji, Eubank Jr., Luke Campbell,
Hmm.
Kevin Mitchell, and Tony Bellew was all on the
Oh,
undercard, which so it was like
I think
a
people
great,
don't appreciate them undercards what we used to have, Alan. I'll be honest
yeah.
with you. So, but obviously, I know Riyadh seasons has changed a lot of that. But for UK undercard of that show, yeah, it was stunning, wasn't it? Really. So,
It was great. And then obviously you got a main event where Dillian White rocked AJ, and this is when AJ was in the. Everyone thought he
mhm,
was untouchable, and he rocked him in the second round, and then obviously AJ rallied back and finished him really well. So just
mhm.
again, great entertainment. And so that's probably my favorite night that I've been to live.
Sure. Most famous person you've ever met?
Tate is pretty famous.
Yeah. Hmm.
I've played football with Ronaldinho and
Wow.
Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo.
Wow. I
Um,
bet that's a good
who else was
story.
there? Yeah, there was Juan Sebastian Veron, if you remember him.
Yeah. Man
I think
United. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Javier Mascherano, Argentinian.
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos, Cafu, Rivaldo,
Oh wow.
Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior was playing as well. So yeah, there was like 20,000 people at the Orlando Stadium, and there's all those famous people and me.
I take it
Um,
you put in it. What you was actually playing football with Alan? Yeah.
yeah, I was playing, and I was on the same team as Ronaldinho. So yeah,
Oh
it
wow.
was pretty insane.
Did you put in a
Um,
good performance? Or-
I mean, I didn't embarrass myself, but
no.
no, it was pretty obvious there was a golfing class between those on the pitch, but it was like a charity game, so it
Yeah.
was fine.
Sure. Oh wow.
Um, I had I had dinner with Steven Seagal last year,
Wow.
in
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi. That was he. I think he's like a proper '90s legend. And so yeah, that was pretty insane. And then I'm also friends with Richard Branson as well. So
Awesome.
I've been to his island. I've been to his island a few times. He's actually a really nice fella.
No, he seems pretty down to earth. Really nice guy as well.
Yeah,
So
he's sound.
that,
He's dead
that,
sound.
yeah, brilliant. No, well, that's about it for this show. Thank you very much for your time, Alan. Obviously, best of luck for Saturday, and obviously, thank you everyone for watching. But make sure you tune in and catch Alan's fight on Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully I'll do everyone proud. emdstream.com if you want to watch along.
100%. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate that.
Cheers.